sitting with my friend Curtis Peoples, singer, songwriter, Jonas brother. Kind of weekend job, maybe some lookalike gigs.
If it came down to it, I could go to Hollywood Boulevard, I bet, and make some money.
Let's go do it right after this shoot.
There you go.
Tell me a little bit about your new record. You've been working on new music for as long as I've known you. Is this your first full length, or did you have a full length before that? I know I heard a few songs.
Yeah, I had an EP, and then I put out an independent thing that I did kind of just as a in between, because I was still trying to tour and do the whole thing, and it was going to be impossible to tour on an EP that I was playing 1 or 2 songs off of when everything else was new. So I did a bunch of demos and kind of just put it together and sold that. But this is like the release.
And how many of these songs were written in the past versus very recently?
Right, the old you have 16, your whole life to make your first record thing.
Right.
Surprisingly, 2 of them were redone from the independent record, and most of them were pretty new. There was one song I had from high school that I took to Keaton Simons, and I was like, I love this song, but something's not working, and I've known it too long. Help! And he helped me finish it, so that's a song that kind of rebirthed. But
what's the name of that song?
Wake Up.
Wake Up.
Yeah.
Keaton's a great guy, as we both know.
Yes.
Used to A&R, believe it or not. So tell me a little bit about the new record, and who produced it, first of all?
This guy that you know, Marshall Altman, who has done records for Matt Nathanson and Mark Broussard, and recently Kate Vogel.
Katie Vogel? Come on now.
So it was really cool. It was very organic how the whole thing happened. His business partner and his engineer and mixer, Eric Robinson, met at Hotel Cafe, and we became friends, and he kept going, you should come down to the studio, you should come down to the studio. And the studio where they were at was about a minute away from me, so one afternoon I went in and played some songs, and Marshall just loved it, and we started just kind of writing together and trying it out, and about 2 weeks into that, he's like, I want to make a record with you, how do we do that? So that's kind of how it all started.
The inspiration for the new record, was part of the strife and the hard work that you put in over the years, was that part of the lyrical message in some of these songs, that like, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to keep going here?
You know what's so funny that you say that is there's a song on the record called All I Want, which is now a love song. Because I took it to Marshall and we rewrote some stuff. When I wrote it, I was so pissed off at where my career was, and I was really pissed off at this one person in particular that I was I was working with, and I needed help from him, and he just disappeared on me. And I just wrote this song. I was like, God, this is all I want in my life. So that was definitely one of the songs. It ended up not being about that, but every time I think about that song, I think about that because it was. But no, there's a lot of angry love songs. It's that kind of thing, and I wanted the record sound-wise to be more fun, so I didn't do as much barking about the industry. Plus, you know what? Honestly, I'm pretty positive about everything, and I always have, even in all my experiences watching my friends' careers. I still cut my eye on the prize, so I don't get too frustrated.
This is a topic that I know all too well, being a former major label guy and record producer, and now running my own company trying to help young artists like you.
Right.
I've seen the industry change, and can you just talk about how you stayed motivated, how you didn't give up? Because most people reach that crossroads and they're like, this is it, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And they're not able to follow their dream through. How did you do it?
Yeah, you know what, it was one of those things, I wanted to do it for so long that I just kind of believed that there's a reason for it. And really that is the core thing that keeps me going. But really, you just keep inventing new ways to get your music out there and to continue on. And as long as you keep going forward, you never, you just kind of, even if you hit a wall here and there, you just kind of, I just kind of keep feeling like I'm getting there. Even if it's like chipping away, at the wall with a toothbrush or with a jackhammer, I feel like I'm chipping away. And that's how I've always felt. So just, if I was getting antsy, I'd set up a tour, I'd book a tour, or I'd record some new songs, or I'd set up some writing sessions, or I'd go to the gym. It even felt like I was doing something for my career. So it was just like every day doing something made me not frustrated.
It's interesting. There's a lot of bands, I think, that like to put the blame on why they're not further ahead in their career on other things or other people.
Right.
And why don't I have a booking agent? Why don't I have the top manager in the business? Why don't I have a major label?
Right.
And obviously, I'm sure you've felt those things over the years.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those, and it's after a while you just kind of have to realize that those things come when they come, or they don't, because you're not ready for them, and you have to accept where you're at and where you're trying to get to. And yeah, it's always been frustrating, like going like, why didn't I get this? Why I was around all these labels? Why didn't somebody sign me right away? And then I look back, I'm like, I'm so happy no one signed me. I was not ready. I would have been totally screwed.
It's funny. I had the same conversation with Kate Vogel, who I discovered right in the beginning of her career, really. I mean, I think I flew her out to LA when she was 15 or 16 years old, and then I was able to catch up with her a couple of years ago for a spot I did for Current TV, and we talked about that. She said, "Thank God you didn't sign me." She said, "You said I wasn't ready, and I wasn't." And now, look at her. You know, she's got a record deal. She's on, you know, one of the biggest TV shows in the world, and she's making a career. So.
Yeah, it's totally true that it's all about timing, and people just have to be patient. And like I remember when I was 18, I was like, well, I'm not famous by the time I'm 25. Maybe I'll go into teaching or something. And then 25 came around, and I was like, screw that, it takes time, who cares? Like, you know, I'm doing great, this is all good.
I know you did kind of a non-traditional deal, which I'm a huge fan of these days. Tell me what the label or the people around you are doing and what you're doing to help make people aware of the record.
Yeah, we, you know, it's cool because we're still a little machine. We got a team, but it's a small team, and it's great. But you know, these days it's all about music placement. So we're really pushing for the music placement and the licensing. We're doing showcases for that and trying to get all that out. We set up a 3-week tour to kind of right away to promote the record. And I'm taking a band out on tour for the entire tour, which I've never done before.
And you're touring with Keaton.
I'm touring with Keaton Sound. Yeah, I'm touring with Keaton. And then. And it's great. So Keaton's actually going to play guitar with me in my set, which is really cool for me.
That's a godsend. That guy on guitar.
I mean, I told him last night. I went to a show last night, and I was like, dude, I'm so excited to have you on guitar. It's going to be ridiculous. So, you know, and having a band for this tour to start this record is so the right way to do it. And having my CD release at the Roxy, which is like, you know, legendary rock club, which was my first choice to do the CD release. I was so happy that they're like, sure, you can headline. I was like, really? Doing it as a band thing is the proper way to present this record because it's a rock record, so it's going to be definitely the proper kickoff. And then new media, as you know, is like the new thing that everyone's trying to wrap their head around, but everyone wants to be the best at it. So we're doing everything we can online with reviews and interviews and making sure I Like is kicking ass and having the widget set up so people can add that to their page, and Facebook and MySpace and all that stuff.
Sure.
But we're doing all of it. You know, I've spent countless hours and asked everybody I know that I know knows what's going on. What sites are you looking at? What is this thing that you guys are like? I ask my little cousins what they're into, what they do online. You know, I'm just like trying to wrap my head around the whole thing because it's so important. It's going to get more important every day. So that's kind of what's going on around the record. And then just like into the fall, touring. I mean, my plan is to just be gone for as long as humanly possible.
Well, not for too long, because I'll miss you if you're gone.
That's true.
You know, come on. You were able to work with one of my former signings and a very good friend of yours, Tyler Hilton. I know you've done a lot of shows with him. You guys have been buddies for a long time. How was it working with him and writing a song with him that ended up going on your record? You know what? It was funny because Tyler wasn't always the biggest. Wasn't into the co-writing thing, and even being his friend, and he'll admit he just wasn't comfortable with it. Now he's comfortable with it, and he's a great writer, and so it's nice to write with him. It was very organic though, because I had written a song with Slim, Jason Gamble, and it wasn't done, and I was just hanging out at Tyler's house. I was like, dude, I got this song. Want to hear it? And he was like in the middle of his writing, and we wrote it, and all of a sudden we were like, oh my god, this is such a great pop song, and we finished it up. And I thought it was going on his record. I remember playing it for you. I freaked out. Yeah. It sounded like a hit to me. Yeah, so I mean, I'm really happy how it turned out, but it just, Tyler wasn't making that kind of record anymore, and I was, and so it was perfect for me. It's great. I did it, and he came and sang on it, and he comes up and plays it, and it's great. It was very cool. It's very cool being able to work with your friends, because it is really tough to work with your friends sometimes. Even if it's a good relationship, it's tough, but it's also, when it comes to writing, you need to be comfortable, and you're comfortable with your friends. But it's easy to not, you get together with your friends to write, and all of a sudden you're watching, Back to the Future, you totally lose focus. But a lot of the songs on the record are all written with friends, so it's a really great feeling to hear those songs and know whose house I was at, hanging out at when we did it. But Tyler's been an unbelievable support to my career, introducing me to people, always including me in things, bringing me to award shows and just premieres and all this stuff, and
you know, making sure that I was always taken care of at shows and everything like that. He's just like opened my eyes to the world of it all, and I you know, was able to run with it and go for it. But I am indebted to him very much.
This business is so small, it's all about those relationships, especially as an artist, because I think artists don't understand that it's not a booking agent that gets you to open for Coldplay, it's a relationship with Coldplay that gets you, or it's getting your music to them somehow through somebody that knows them, and they go, wow, you're great, we need that guy on our tour.
Oh, yes.
And you've been able to do that. I mean, we have obviously a lot of the same friends, the Josh Kellys of the world, and the, you know, the Mario Digby's, and all these people that we've kind of been watching, in my case, watching from the industry side, in your case, coming up with as a musician.
Yeah.
You want to talk about like how those relationships play into, I mean, you're talking about with Tyler, but...
Yeah, I mean, I tell people that too, because, you know, people email me or at the shows, young singer-songwriters or artists ask me, and I'm like, get out there, meet people. I said it's 99% relationships and luck and 1% talent, it feels like, because it really is, because those, I mean, yeah, just, I've gone to a million shows and met people and just been cool to people, and then the world just gets smaller and smaller, and you find out that this person knows your friend, and your friend knows that person, and that person, you know, it just kind of ties together. The relationships I've had, I mean, you're completely right. When I did shows with Josh Kelley, it's because I knew Josh Kelley through Dave Yaden and some of those other guys. You know, I met Josh and got to write with him. Josh didn't know my name, and we wrote a song that was going to go on his record. And like I came over one night late at night, and Dave was like, I have this song, you have to hear it, wrote with Josh. I think I left, I was like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know my name, but he does now. But relationships with him and his brother, who's got this country group, Lady Annabelle, that's doing really well, they've been really helpful. And when Charles, the lead singer, started, he came to LA and came right up to me, hadn't met me, and asked me, where should I get my merch, what should I do, like before he even like said hey, like, so. But now he's been so helpful with me, and like, so yeah, those relationships matter, and you never know who's going to do something, so it is so good to be cool with everybody, you know, especially being younger. Like, I have friends that are starting to get jobs at labels or get jobs at, you know, agencies and everything, and they're assistants now, but, you know, 2 or 3 years go by as I'm coming up, they'll get promoted, and all of a sudden, the phone call you make is to the head of, you know, one of the heads of marketing at, you know, Universal or William Morris or something, because you were just hung out with them like 3 or 4 years ago and kicked around LA. So yeah, those relationships are amazing, and it is all that. It really, like, that's how you get on it. Like, you want to get on that tour, you go, okay, who do I know that knows them, or do I know them? That's the first thing you think of.
Be cool with everybody. Words of wisdom from Curtis.
Be cool with everybody. That is the truth.
My friend, record's coming out
August 19th.
August 19th. Buy it on iTunes. I've got it somewhere. I'm going to be unprofessional, go out of frame, come back into frame. This is the record. It actually, they still press these things.
Yes.
They're not just coasters.
No.
I'm going to use your... No, I'm kidding. Bad joke. Curtis Peoples. See ya.